Okay, we're on our third video of Bava Kama. We are on the bottom of Beis Amud Aleph. I just want to review Rebbe Eliezer in case we didn't get Rebbe Eliezer that well. We had asked about Rebbe Eliezer. This was our question. We're going to go a little background and then go a little forward here. We're trying to figure out if the avos and the toldos of Nezikin are similar or not. And in order to understand, we look at another area of halacha. We look at Hilchos Shabbos to see if in Hilchos Shabbos they're the same or not. And what we do is, in order to figure this out in Hilchos Shabbos, we see that the avos and the toldos are similar in Hilchos Shabbos. How did we see that? Because the punishments for an av and a tolda were the same when it came to Hilchos Shabbos. Okay, so since the punishments were the same, we assume that avos and toldos are the same. Okay, now not the same, but we see that they're similar. Once we assume that they're similar, then the question became, well, if avos and toldos are similar, then why aren't they the same things? We saw one answer in the Gemara. The answer the Gemara gave was that if you violate an av and its tolda, then you give one korban. But if you violate an av and a different av, or two different toldas, or an av and a tolda that didn't belong to that same av, then you had to give two separate korbanos, which is why it's important to know what's an av and what's a tolda. That was one answer. Rebbe Eliezer, though, disagreed. And the reason why Rebbe Eliezer disagrees is because he holds that you need to give in order to, when it comes to an av and a tolda, no matter if you violate an av and its tolda, which according to the first opinion meant only one korban, the Eliezer hold that's two korbanos. Okay, so according to Eliezer, the Gemara's answer as to what makes an av and a tolda different doesn't hold up. So the question became, according to Eliezer, how do we decide what's an av and what's a tolda? How are they different? Right? They could be similar, but then if they're so similar that they're exactly the same, what's the difference? And the answer that Rebbe Eliezer gives is that they're different because anything that was a significant action done in the Mishkan, right? That's hach dahavi b'mishkan chashiva. Anything that was in the construction of the Mishkan was significant and had to be done. We called that an av, and there were 39 such actions. Anything that wasn't significant became in the building of the Mishkan, we called a tolda. Okay. Now we're going to go on the Gemara. We are on the very last line of the Gemara, the fourth word in Gabe Tumas Tanat. Now, when it comes to Tuma, again, why are we learning Hilchos Tuma when we're learning Bava Kama and we're trying to understand the laws of Nezikin? Very simple. What we're trying to do, again, is look at different areas across the gamut in Halacha and trying to see if in other areas where there are avos and tumos, are they similar or dissimilar? That's what we're trying to figure out. Are the avos and toldos similar or dissimilar? If we see that when it comes to other areas they're similar and or dissimilar, we can apply that to Nezikin and know if our avos and Nezikin are similar or not similar. So, what conclusion do we come to? Well, Shabbos we saw that they were the same. Tuma's going to throw a wrench into it because Tuma they're going to be different. Let's look inside. Gabe Tumas Tanam, when it comes to the area of Tuma. Now, you know we purposely don't translate the word Tuma because Tuma can't be, as many people explain, impure. Impure has a negative connotation to it. Tuma is not negative, although a lot of people like to assume spiritually it is. That's not true, as we saw that when one person buries another person, they become Tameh, yet they're performing one of the greatest mitzvahs. It would be impossible for Kadosh Baruch Hu to give us something negative from doing one of the greatest mitzvahs. That's a philosophical contradiction, philosophical oxymoron, and that doesn't work. And therefore, we don't translate the word tuma because there's no word in the English language sufficient for the word tuma. It's simply a legal status. Okay, so tuma, gabe tumas time, when it comes to the area and the categories of tuma. Okay, avos hatumas, what are the avos hatumas? Hasheret, hashichva zara, and turning our page here, tumas mace. There are three main avos of tuma. What are they? Sheret is a rodent, a dead rodent. There are a number of shrutzim of dead rodents that transfer tuma, okay, that cause somebody else to become tameh or another object to become tameh. Shichrat zara is male semen that causes one to become tameh, and tameh mace, a dead body. Having contact with any of these can cause one to become tameh. So the Gemara says, Toldosean lav chayotze behen. Okay, again, we're on the first line of Beis on the Beis on the next page. There are, when it comes to the toldos of these avos in Hilchos Tuma, they're not similar. Okay, So if they're not similar, Toldosein lav chayotze behem, dilu av. How do we see that they're not similar? Dilu av metame adam v'kelim, because an av can be metame. Metame is a verb. It can be metame. It causes tumah to transfer to a person and to dishes. Okay, adam is a person. Kelim are dishes. Di'ilu means in a case of. Okay, di'ilu in a case of an av, it's metame. It causes tumah to transfer to a man and to kelim. V'ilu toldos. But when it comes to toldos, ochlin umashkin metame. When it comes to toldos of tuma, the toldos of tuma transfer tuma to food and drink. But adam v'kelim lo metame. When it comes to a person and to dishes, a tolda doesn't transfer. In which case we see that when it comes to tuma, avos and toldos are not similar. Where are we left now? So now let's sum up. We tried to see if the avos and toldos of nezikin are chayotze behen, similar, or lav chayotze behen, not similar. Look at the second line in the Gemara from Beis and Aleph. You'll see the question. Where did we try to figure out the answer from? We looked at first Shabbos, and we saw, why did we go to Shabbos? Because we went to Shabbos to say, oh, if in Shabbos the avos and toldos are similar, then maybe the same thing will be true by nezikin. And then we looked at Tuma. We said, oh, if the avos and toldos are not similar by Tuma, maybe they're not similar by nezikin. The problem is that by Shabbos they're similar. Tuma they're not similar. So hachamai, the Gemara asks. That's the next couple of words. Hachamai. What's the din here? What's here? Nezikin. Remember, that's what we're trying to learn. Shabbos and Tuma were examples that we're trying to learn. So hachamai, what's the din by nezikin? Okay? Hachamai. Color commentary. After we saw that Shabbos and Tuma, that the toldos and the avos by Shabbos are similar, and toldos they're not similar, what's the din by nezikin? So Amar Rav Papa. Rav Papa answers, he says as follows. Yesh behen chayotze behen. There are avos that are similar. V'yesh behen lav chayotze behen. And there are toldos that are similar to the avos. And yesh behen lav chayotze behen. Chayotze behen again meaning similar. And there are those that are not similar. So again, now what do we see? When it comes to nezikin, are the avos and toldos chayotze behen or lav chayotze behen? Are they similar or dissimilar? Our answer is there are some that are similar and some that are not similar. The Gemara is going to be challenged over the next Amud and the Amud after that in trying to figure out which ones are similar in nezikin and which toldos are not similar in nezikin. That we're going to have to see. But we're going to, in order to get to that discussion, we're going to have to see what are the avos of nezikin and what are the toldos of nezikin. And we'll start that with Tana Rabbana, where the rabbis learn in a brisa. We're going to start that next piece in our next video.